I think I've been test riding too many motorcycles. Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. This is the channel for motorcycle test rides, specs, news, and all the latest information that I can think of. So if you like what I do, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notifications bell for all future videos and news. And don't forget to check out the website RevelatorAlf.com as well. Right, so I've been doing a lot of test rides recently of different motorcycles. I wanted to see whether I should stick with my Harley-Davidson Sport Glide, whether I should put money towards it to upgrade it, to upstage it, or to make some modifications that I feel it needs to make it run smoother so I can be confident about it for the next, let's say, 5 years. Now, I know this is a bit of a long shot in terms of motorcycle mechanics, but I'm confident if I spend about £4,000 or £5,000 on the bike itself, then that bike will run for certainly 5 or 10 years. Would it be the optimum ride going forward? Who knows? But for now, that's where I'm at. I believe money needs to be spent on it. I know there's some issues that I want to address, or not really issues, but there are things that I really want changed on the bike in terms of the engine specifically, but also I need to factor in maintenance costs and any service issues that may crop up in the future. So £4,000 or £5,000 is a starting price, but obviously thereafter I'm gonna have to spend more on it, and as we all do with all motorcycles, right? So I wanted to know what other motorcycles were out there in the kind of commuting, touring, long distance touring bracket, which I kind of favor these days, of course. Would it be better for me to look for one of those, put my money towards one of those, a new one, or a nearly new one, I would say, as opposed to spending it on my own bike? So I embarked on this kind of voyage of discovery, riding all the bikes that I hadn't ridden in either a long time or never ridden before, or they're brand new motorcycles, and you think, you know what, let me go and give them a go. And as you're watching this video now, there's actually a lot of videos coming that are in the bank, and I've also made a lot more as well, and I've also approached a lot more other manufacturers as well. But it's getting to the point now where I think, have I ridden too many motorcycles? Have I looked at too many options? Because it comes to a point where you kind of get confused, you're not really sure which way is to go. Now I'm going to make another video about my thoughts about these other motorcycles in comparison to a Harley-Davidson or a Harley-Davidson that I own myself. But this is where I'm at. It gets to a point where you know the kind of motorcycle that you want, and I've said this in previous videos or in previous live shows as well, that all modern motorcycles, they're all pretty good. I mean, you know, you wouldn't say that a motorcycle is a really bad motorcycle anymore. You kind of say, well, is it to my preference? Does it suit my needs? Does it suit my riding style? That kind of thing. But they're all pretty good. Am I riding too many? And I kind of think that I am now. I kind of think that I've exhausted how many I should be riding. I know there are certain types where I could ride, but I can't really see myself ever genuinely wanting to buy them. And this is all part of this series about me riding all these different bikes. It is actually about me looking for an alternative or my next motorcycle. This is not about me just trying to ride any motorcycle that I want. That will be a separate series of videos if you like. This series of videos is really about finding the bike, my next bike. The bike that I can see myself actually riding, owning, and living with on a daily basis. So the ones that I've ridden, the ones that I've made videos about, and the ones that are already in the can, as it were, and to be published soon. Those are the bikes that I can really see myself owning, riding on a daily basis. Some are a little bit left field for me, but some are, yeah, I could definitely see myself riding. Now, I've omitted a few bikes because I've already ridden them in the past, so I kind of know how they are, and I've got video evidence, as it were, to remind me of what my thoughts were at the time. So I don't really want to be riding too many other bikes. You get to the point where you know kind of what you want, and then you get to the point where you think, well, I like this bike, this will suit my needs. In fact, I like so many things about it. You could start to get into the process of nitpicking here and start saying, well, I don't really like that aspect, I don't like that bit about it. And I kind of found myself doing that as well. In some respects, I've actually taught myself out of a really decent bike. Now I know there's a couple of motorcycles that I haven't ridden yet, and I've got a really good feeling that they could land at the top of the tree, as it were. They're the ones that I think, yeah, I could definitely see myself riding that, and it would suit my kind of riding now and where I want to be in the next 5 to 10 years. I could definitely see it. But a lot of the bikes I'm riding, whilst they're different, there's a lot of similarities. If you take the ADV bikes, which I ride or I have ridden and I will be riding, there's so many similarities. So then you're looking at power delivery, speed, at comfort, and all these kinds of things. So there's a bracket within each group of motorcycles. Let's say you say, well, that's a kind of steady eddy bike, that's a kind of medium power bike, that's more of a high powered bike. But they all kind of look the same and they all kind of do the same. The same with kind of Tourers, the same with anything like that. Then you're kind of looking at technology. Well, a lot of the brand new motorcycles, they're all kind of coming out with similar technology as well. So then you kind of compare each bike and you think, well, it's very similar, that's very similar, that does that wow, that does that better. And you kind of start falling over yourself. And it may come across in some of the videos now that I think, well, it's not for me. I can tell that this bike isn't for me. But it's not that I'm saying that the bike is bad. The bikes are all really great. They're all really great in their own way. It always comes down to a personal thing. So I think I've definitely narrowed the field, and I've definitely come to a point where I say, well, I would either make the plunge for my own Harley and spend the money on my own bike, or if I am going to go for a new bike, it's going to be that bike there, or it's going to be a toss-up between that one and that one. So I think the point of this video is that when we're looking for a new bike, we could go around all the bazaars, we could try a million different bikes, but at the end of the day, it's really what you like and what suits you best. And you could kind of narrow this down very, very quickly. I've gone on this kind of voyage of discovery, as I said, and I wanted to try all different bikes, and maybe even some of those bikes that I kind of thought that I wanted to ride, but once I'd ridden them I thought, nah, that's not really for me. Whereas if I was kind of being strict with myself, I would kind of discounted lots of different bikes, so I would have narrowed the field straight away, and I would have gone purely on looks, and I would have said, right, that I like the look of that, let me go test ride it. Does it suit my needs? Yes, that's fine for me. And I suppose that's where most of us are at. You kind of find the bike that you like the look of. Does it have all the basic features that you think it has? Maybe it's a sports bike, maybe it's a ADV bike, maybe it's a commuter bike, maybe it's a touring style bike, and you think, right, okay, does it suit my needs? Does it look like it suits my needs? Right, let me go test ride it. So I'm going to go test ride it. Yeah, it rides really nice. I like that a lot. There you go, job done. Or no, it doesn't, I can't get on with it at all. Right, let's go for something, you know, so you step on down the line, as opposed to keeping your options really wide and open and say, right, I'm going to try every different bike. I'm kind of thinking, well, actually, before you start the test riding, before you start on this pathway to seek out the ultimate bike, just narrow it down before you start. And you'll probably find that you'll find that bike a lot quicker than I'm probably finding it. I'm trying to do the best research I can. I'm trying to give the due diligence that it requires. But I'm kind of thinking that maybe I've overdone it. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's, you know, I've just looked at too many bikes now. I kind of know what I want. I kind of know what I think that is going to be the bike for me. And I always thought that there are a couple of bikes out there, if I went with a particular style, those are the bikes that I'm going to go for. And I kind of feel that's it. That's the way I'm thinking. After trying all these other bikes and trying to see whether they would work for me, I'm still looking at my initial thoughts of what I thought would be the best bike for me. And after having ridden them, I'm kind of thinking, yeah, these are really good bikes. These will do what I want them to do, and I can see myself riding them for the future. And I get a lot of mileage on them, a lot of long journeys, a lot of short journeys, a lot of commuting miles on them. They will be perfect in so many different ways. That's just for me. This is my personal search for a new motorcycle, or whether I just stick with my bike, which I absolutely love, but I know I'm going to have to spend money on it. So this is where I'm at, really. I think I've just test ridden too many motorcycles now, And I don't see there's any point in just trying to reach out to any other dealership or any other motorcycle manufacturer and say, you know, I might like the look of that bike. Can I try it out? Because yeah, I could continue on this journey, and it would, you know, it would be great, of course, because I love riding bikes and I want to try as many bikes as I can. But realistically, I'm going to keep on getting the same result. It'd almost be a sign of insanity to keep on riding these other types of bikes that are very similar and expecting a different result. As I say, they're all great bikes, but I've got to be honest and say, well, it's not going to be that much different to the other bikes, or the looks aren't that much different. If there's a bike that I already really like, or a couple of bikes I already really like, just focus my attention on that. And I think that's where I'm at now. So there are more videos coming out. There are a lot more test rides coming out. I do have test rides pre-booked, so they are going to happen. But unless something major happens on those that kind of draws my attention away, the ones that I've already done, I pretty much know where I'm at. Anyway, let us know your thoughts on this about test riding bikes. How many bikes you want to test ride? Do you want to test all of them? Or you just want to test ride the bike that you really like, or you like the look of, and that's the one that you're going to go for? Let us know your thoughts, and I'll catch you again on another video. But once again, if you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and press that notifications bell for all future videos. And also check out the website RevelatorAlf.com for all the latest biking news, and I'll catch you again. Ta-da.